Good afternoon. This is KDXI St. George, Radio St. George at 100.3 FM. And we welcome you to Startup Nation. Up-and-coming startups, entrepreneurs go face-to-face with proven business leaders and talk funding, innovation, current business trends, technology, and social media's role in business. And now your host for Startup Nation, Ed Tracey.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Startup Nation. This is Ed Tracey, and I'm looking for... I hate to start the show like this, but I've been looking for these for like a week. There they are, buddy. Reunited, and it feels so good. People have been hiding these on me. I felt like my grandfather. I was in the middle of Sizzler going, where's my teeth? This is how we start our show every time. Hi, everybody. Ed Tracey here. And we have some special guests today with me here in the studio. Austin Schadewald, Jason Muller, and Dan Fowlks from Cypress Rock Productions. We're going to be talking about their new film, A Christmas Night, 1944. Yeah. Before we do that, of course, things coming up. Of course, if you missed Street Fest, man, you missed out. We had like 17,000 people there. I counted 1.5 million, but they never go by what I count. And but we had a great time. Lots of great things coming up. 4th of July is coming up here. They do the big carnival at Town Square. It's just a great town. There's lots going on.
There's even a parade.
There is even a parade.
Wow.
I love a parade. Yeah. Do they have a 4th of July parade in St. George?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know.
I know they have a pageant during the county fair, which I'm not allowed to go to.
I've got
Well, maybe you can get in with those teeth now.
It's going, yeah, for sure. You're welcome. Love you, Dan. So lots of great stuff coming up here. If you're looking for stuff to do, you're not looking in the right place. There's plenty. There's lots of trails. There's events. There's music. There's art. Always something going on. Go to, of course, the St. George Area Chamber of Commerce, the St. George Area Tourism, which is now called Greater Zion, I think is what they call them.
Greater Zion now?
Greater
Zion? It was Ada Zion, right?
Ada Zion's the art.
Yeah.
Greater Zion is now the tourism.
Oh.
So just go to tourism. Look up tourism, St. George, Utah. There's crap loads to do, everybody.
Everywhere.
Everywhere, man. Jason, what do you do for fun? Besides wear those cool polo shirts. You're looking good, man.
You gotta like a cool polo shirt.
I do, right? I do. He's I'm guessing we're close in age, right? Are you 32? Yeah, okay.
Well, 34. Right?
I don't know. So you're older. What do you do for fun, Jason?
It's pretty much hang out with the family. And,
How many children do you have?
I have 5.
Quitter.
Yeah, well, we wanted more, but I did not want more. No.
She wanted more.
No.
She did not. Oh.
But we wanted 4. And,
Whoops.
well, we ended up...
Go on vacation?
Well, it might have been. I don't know. I think so. But we ended up with triplets in the middle. Yeah.
Oh, man.
They just knocked it out of the park. And
You should have stopped.
We seriously doubled the size of our family overnight.
You did.
We had a Ford Expedition that had lots of seats, and overnight we only had a few left.
And he bought one of those tram cars from SeaWorld where you can fit 20 people, you know. It's got the links. That's what he's driving around in now. That's awesome. Awesome. Austin, how many kids do you have?
Just one.
How long you been married?
Uh-oh. I should know the answer.
Oh.
We just had our 4-year anniversary.
You did.
Yeah.
I saw you big spender at the movies with your wife.
Right, yeah. Tuesday night, it's only $5.
Happy anniversary, Mrs. Shadowald.
But it was in Paris, so it's all right.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention that small.
Yeah. That's awesome. Dan, you have
3 kids.
3 kids.
Yep. Think we're done.
Good
I don't
one.
know.
I got 4.
Maybe we'll have triplets that just double our size.
Let me give you some tips.
You have a young one, right?
Yeah.
You got a young one.
Fresh.
Dan, you got a young one too, right?
2 years old, yeah.
How old's your youngest?
Well, this is almost 13.
And the youngest?
The oldest is almost 20. The youngest is almost 13.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
I look at the younger ones, and I'm thinking, I'm glad I'm done with that phase.
I got a married one now, and I'm like, buddy, if you don't give me grandkids soon, I'm going to give you a brother. He's like, don't do that. I can, because I'm a guy.
Don't tempt me.
I will be taking that kid to football practice with my walker. So,
graduation.
Oh, man. Yeah. Hey,
Fantastic.
graduation is via CCTV because I'm in a nursing home. Right? Closed circuit. So you guys are promoting a movie that you just are still working on. Still in production, right?
Still in production.
Christmas Night, 1944.
Yep.
What's it about?
All right, well, give you a little bit of history about it. So A Christmas Night 1944, it's inspired by a true story that took place on Christmas Eve night in 1944.
Strangely enough.
Crazy how that title works.
That worked out really well.
Worked out really well.
It would have been really bad if it was 1977, but yes.
Yes.
1944.
Yeah.
And it takes place where?
It takes place in the German mountains. So it's just about the end of the Battle of the Bulge, 1944, and it's about some American soldiers that were lost in the woods and stumble upon a cabin.
Really?
And that's the story.
American soldiers?
American soldiers. One was wounded, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So it's a fantastic story. So
Awesome. And how did you come across this story?
Last year I was Googling, as many people do.
I've never heard of that. Google? Is that something
Googling,
new?
yeah.
I have an iPhone 6, so I have
Google
no
stuff,
idea
right?
what that is.
I was actually just trying to find something to do during the winter months. I like to be creative, like to be artistic, and just work on something. And so I stumbled upon this story that I read it at first glance, and then I looked into it a little more. Came out of a Reader's Digest, and I mean, there's a bunch of different accounts about it. But then I just got the gist of the story and started writing a script, and just my perspective and take on it, and what I wanted to present as a filmmaker.
Sure.
So.
And how did you guys get involved? Austin, I know you're a video guy, and so you're doing a lot of the filming.
Yeah, I've been working closely with Dan. Actually, I've only been in St. George since about November, but I happened to reach out on Facebook, I think it was, and Dan was like, hey, I'm doing video stuff. So got in touch with him, and he told me about some crazy World War II story that he wanted to tell. So that's how I got involved with that. And then shortly after met Jason when we started building the set. So
you're a set builder? Or did you actually come from the original?
See, in an independent film, people wear many hats.
Yes.
I'm 34 for crying out loud.
Oh, man.
I just look 80.
Well, you got a 13-year-old and a 20-year-old. I'm right there. I have a 30-year-old, okay? You know how hard it is when you have a 30-year-old and you're trying to date 30-year-olds? Not good.
A little tricky.
Yeah, a little tricky. So what do you do exactly for the film? Are you just one of the producers? Or just one of the producers? You're one of the producers?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
On this particular one, though, there's been a lot of many hats. One of them is actually building the set. We were up at the cabin up in...
So you didn't build the cabin?
No.
Okay.
No, it's a facade.
So okay. Oh, it is? Okay.
We built the set.
Gotcha.
We built the set. We're up in the... Cedar Mountains, and we're looking at some cabins, trying to figure out what we can do. And Dan's like, "Well, we just can't find what we're looking for. Hey, let's just build the facade and the set." And we're like,
easy, right?
Okay. And then I find out last week, he's like, "Dude, no one in Southern Utah builds sets like this." I'm like, "Dude, you said it was really so easy. Hey, let's just build a set." I'm like, "Sure, I guess so, because I'm kind of new to the scene down here,
So he put together an entire house, basically.
So we built.
I live in it now.
It's that good.
all money on the film.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Thanks, guys.
All of our families live in this set because we spent all of our own money on this film.
Exactly.
Got it.
But it turned out.
Yeah.
It turned out pretty awesome.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, without Jason and his help on this film, he's helped with line producing, he's helped with scheduling, and I mean, without Jason on this film, it wouldn't have gotten to this point.
Gotcha.
It's his skill and craftsmanship of putting himself into this film has been amazing.
That's awesome. So let's talk about how you guys got together.
Yeah.
You're from San Diego, right? You moved here.
I actually grew up in near Salt Lake. Moved to San Diego for about 4 years.
Because it's just like Salt Lake.
Yeah,
San Diego.
exactly.
Smells the same.
Seagulls everywhere.
The surf's up all the time in Salt Lake, for sure.
Yeah.
But, I was there for 4 years, and like I said, moved here in November. So.
Gotcha. And he actually did our video for our first comedy show, and it was great.
Yeah.
He had to cover his ears because they got a little raunchy that night.
That's right.
I was like, keep it clean. No, No,
Can't do it.
Thank
Nope.
you, no thank you.
Yeah,
Actually,
exactly.
I didn't know it was a comedy show till I got home. I thought it was a eulogy, but
Oh,
Burn.
no, that's
Wow.
I'm kidding. Ed puts on a great show.
Get outta
So
here.
I highly recommend going to.
I'm not
check out
talking to you
his
for
comedy
5
stuff.
minutes.
Yeah.
So you decided to move here. You wanted to change of pace.
Yeah, I mean, we had the baby. That was kind of like a deciding factor for us. We have family in Utah, so we're kind of like be closer to home.
Okay, but why
So-
St. George? If they're up in Salt Lake,
Hey, I'm like you. I don't do the snow.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
know
do
it,
the
dude.
snow. I don't like
I know
the
it.
getting up early, scraping the windshield, driving to work on the black ice. No, thank you.
Right.
And I don't ski. I
Except
don't
for a little
snowboard.
earlier this year.
Yeah.
Actually, you know.
oh man, it was weird weather. It was like 70
Weird.
degrees till 10 days ago. Then it was 900 degrees.
Yes.
Out of nowhere. The same day, for the record, that my air conditioning went out in my house. So
Of course.
yeah, my neighbors are not happy with me walking around outside in my
Skis.
outfit. Yeah.
Yeah, skis. Birthday suit.
Yeah, my jammies. So you came here just with a dream, basically. I mean, you didn't have a job, really, right?
No, nothing.
So you're independently wealthy, apparently.
Yeah, for sure.
Like
Made a
everybody, like
large
everybody else in
investment
this
into the
room.
film. No,
Executive producer.
Yeah, big time. And you do video.
I do video. Yeah,
That's your thing.
When I was in San Diego, I did a lot of wedding videography, and
Destination weddings on the beach.
Destination weddings on the
Right.
beach. Yep, we did a lot of sunset stuff over there too, which was awesome. Sunsets on the beach in San Diego. Doesn't get much better. Actually, St. George is really beautiful.
Oh,
And
man.
I've been doing a lot of wedding stuff here as well. So.
Very cool. Very cool. And then you responded to them. They found you through Facebook.
Actually,
you saw
I
your
reached
post.
Yeah, did you reach out first?
I reached
Yeah.
out on the Filmies page.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, hey, who's doing film stuff in St. George? Because, I like to get involved with that kind of stuff.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
actors, a lot of film.
Yeah, there's a
buffs
really
down here.
There's a great filmmaking community down here.
Lot of
That's
talent.
yeah,
A couple of
it's just-
independent film festivals as well. And,
Yeah, Desertscape,
One's coming up, right?
Desertscape International Film Festival's coming up this
Yeah.
weekend. So
and that Doc Utah, whatever it's
Utah,
called. I never
yeah.
heard of that one.
yeah,
Or hacks. But, yeah. So you guys got involved, and
Yep.
you've been on this thing pretty much since the beginning.
Yeah.
Very cool.
yeah.
Very
That's kind of the crazy. Yeah. So I wrote the story and then I sent it to Jason, and then Jason was
I gotta tell you, I was in love with it. Like the second I wrote it, I mean, I've got to be a part of this. It's an amazing story. Dan did an amazing job just articulating the story in a kind of a film script, and it just, I want to be a part of it.
and then,
Now, what do you do what's your day job?
This is the day job.
Wow.
Yeah, I switched careers, and this is
What were you doing before?
I used to work for IBM as a project executive.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is probably less stressful, I'd imagine.
It actually is a lot less stressful.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
it's
I
a
know.
fun stress.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know
actually-
people that worked for IBM in the '80s, and they are now in AA. So
Seriously, I'm 26, and I'm just kidding. No,
I tell people I'm 72, and I take really good care of myself.
There you
so-
go.
Exfoliate.
Yeah, it's totally scrubbing it away.
But I had to be a part of the project, and
Now, are you from here?
I'm originally from Southern California.
Okay, and how long you lived here?
About 15 years.
And how did you two meet?
Actually, I was working over at Brigham's Playhouse doing some lighting.
All right, gotcha.
And a gal was helping Dan on this little trailer that he was working on, and said, hey, they need some extras. And I went over and played the overweight pioneer, and didn't have any. And I'm like, all right,
Volunteer.
I'll do
Next
it.
thing you know, you're Brigham Young.
I'll do it. And I'm starting. But, and then I went to Burbank, California. Went to film school for a bit, and then
very
came
cool.
back and called Dan and said, hey, I'm in town. Just got back from doing some film school stuff, and started working on a different film. And he brought this.
So you guys have been doing stuff together for a bit.
Off and on, yeah. And then it was more so, last year that we really started collaborating more and
Yeah.
working together. So
Yeah. And like, as you say, like any independent film, you're doing everything. You're grabbing
It's-
lunch, you're building
There's
sets,
many hats.
Yeah.
many hats,
Many
yeah.
making snow. Well, probably
Yeah.
not this year, but
This year we lucked out.
Yeah, you did.
And the team that's come together for this project has been. I've been blown away with how many people have been able to give time and donate their time to help with this project. And so I think right there it says a lot about just the story itself.
Well, you know what I love about
amazing.
independent film people is they do it for the love. And, the major films, they do it too. But you guys are doing it because you love it in the hopes that maybe, something big will come from it,
Yeah.
But in the meantime, you do it because you love it.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's why you're doing it, because it's great. I mean, you build a family. I had the opportunity to work with Lori
Lyle.
Lori
Yeah,
Lyle.
just finished her film.
Sweetheart of a lady.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
And, I know nothing about film. And Jessica Staples called me and said, hey, she needs an assistant director. And I go, well, what do they do? She goes, you just got to be loud. I'm like, I'm in.
I can do that.
Perfect for the job.
Quiet, please! Sorry, Lori, I wasn't talking to you.
That's all you
I
do.
wasn't
If
talking to
there's one guy shouting throughout the whole
you.
set,
Literally all I did. It was like I had my kids around me when
Right.
they were little again.
Glory days.
Yeah, this is great. This is great.
Quiet on set.
But
Fantastic.
she put her heart and soul, and she wrote the script, all that stuff, and
Yeah.
you and we'll talk more about it after the break. But you hopefully you find people that will back you, and you find a little bit of money to make this thing survive, and then get it in front of the right people so that you can make a living from it.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
that's the beauty of it. It's the ultimate entrepreneurship.
Right.
You are out there on your own trying to make it with what you have, and I love it.
Yeah.
Love it. So, Dan, you've been doing this a while. You've helped
As
film a couple of
long
things for
as I can
Street Fest
remember,
with
yeah.
me and Kevin Fry, and
Yeah.
you've been doing films. You've got that video of you and your daughter singing and playing guitar. 10 million views, whatever it is. I can't even get one girl to call me back, and he's got 10 million views. So how long you been doing this? What were you doing before you started doing this, and why did you start doing this?
All right. I've always had a camera in my hand since I was like 12. So just definitely growing up with the parents' video camera and getting neighborhood kids together and making short films.
That's
and
good stuff.
Even
I love it.
even editing from the VHS.
What's a VHS?
Exactly right. Well, kids, taking the
Dubbing?
VHS, putting it into the VCR, video cassette recorder.
Back then, it was up on the shoulder.
It was up on the shoulder.
Yeah, but I remember doing editing that way. So that's fun piece of.
That was after doing mixtapes with cassettes, so,
Exactly.
which I still own.
Yeah.
I do too.
I
I should admit that.
Oh,
Big
you are
tapes.
You
so
got me,
you
man.
are so old.
I know, you just got me.
That dated you guys a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, but then went through the whole high school thing and actually was doing window cleaning for a while out of high school and had a window cleaning business to support myself, and then took the plunge into the whole acting and filmmaking
Acting
world.
classes.
Did some acting classes, meet with some agents. So that's kind of what I do in between, working on the film here.
That's how you pay your bills, basically.
That's how I pay
for
my
now.
bills. Yeah, and then
And your wife hasn't killed you yet.
not yet. No, we're actually high school sweethearts. So
Oh, you were her teacher or
yeah,
what?
yeah, the gym coach.
Dum-dum.
Yeah,
Very cool.
so and then that's when Jason and I got together, and we offer videos for companies as well.
Yeah, so you
we
put
all kind of-
stuff together. If
Yeah,
somebody
yeah.
needs something done. Gotcha.
Yeah, so we all kind of, that's the cool thing is we all three of us collaborate on that too, but then we also, Austin has his portion and his video services that he offers, and
Gotcha.
it's great.
And we're going to show a clip after we come back from the break. But do you have a website for this film? Anything?
So CypressRockProductions.com.
Okay.
You can see the film. There's ways to donate towards the
Okay.
film.
Got a GoFundMe campaign going? Okay.
campaign,
Please help, we
or
need
through
it.
PayPal.
Help him get a new polo shirt.
Jason
getting a
needs
little
a new
ratty.
polo shirt.
I want to give you my shirt, but you don't want to see what's under here.
Signed polo shirt.
A signed polo shirt.
I'll take it.
Yeah, so you can go online, see that film, and then even just a couple other projects that we have in the works that kind of lays out our vision of where we want to go with Cypress Rock Productions in Southern Utah.
Gotcha. And Austin, I know you do stuff on your own. Give you a separate plug. Do you have a website, Facebook?
You can go to AustinSchadewaldMedia.com. I mostly have wedding stuff on there, so if you're trying to get hitched, check out my website. I do photo and video. So
I wouldn't mind.
Ed,
Number 3. I'm looking for number 3. She hasn't been born yet. Okay. And it's Austin, Schadewald.
You got it.
Yeah, make sure you spell it right. And Muller. I mean, I know you from all the Trump hearings and stuff. So you look a lot different on TV.
Dad?
Yeah.
Dad?
Well, I usually wear a tie, but
It's good. Doesn't go with the polo shirt.
no.
Gotcha. So, and they can donate on there. So now here, we're going to talk more about the whole crowdfunding and all that stuff afterwards. But do you give little benefits to them for donating? Do you get like a...
Absolutely not. No.
Perfect. You know how that works. Everybody's like, oh, yeah. I mean, and people don't do it for that, but you know,
there's incentives. We have one platform that like through Eventbrite. So when the film's done, we'll have screening times, private screenings, just for you, Ed. So
I don't like the dark.
So we have some. Yeah, we have ways for people to donate.
Can I sit next to Jason?
DVDs, things like that.
Gotcha. What's your anticipated time frame to get all of this done? I mean, where are you with the production of this?
Okay, what would you say?
We just did the title.
We've got
in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah, we've got one more day of interior shooting. For
Period piece.
1944 piece, and then we'll be moving on to about 4 or 5 days of principal photography. Principal photography, when I spit that out, in kind of a rest home.
Because it's not done chronologically. It's done, based on, you probably have 10 scenes for the inside of a house. You got 10 scenes for in front of it in the snow.
That's what's been really challenging with this one, because one, we've had to work around Mother Nature because of the snow,
right?
And especially in southern Utah. I mean, the fact that we're doing a World War II piece in the wintertime in southern Utah presents a challenge itself.
Finding snow.
So yeah, we had to, that first part of the year, we had to kick ourselves into gear and really plan what scenes we need to get.
Sure.
And the snow locations and get all that done, because it was going bye-bye really quick.
And you got to make sure everything matches up. It's quite a
continuity.
Oh man, I've never seen anything like it until I did that with Lori Lyle.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really, you don't want to pull these Game of Thrones mistakes with is that a Starbucks cup?
Exactly.
Or a water bottle. What was the other? It was a water bottle. Although the princess, the blonde, she hasn't returned my phone calls. I just want you to know.
She was their dragon.
Keep trying.
I'll be her dragon.
We'll get her.
On her way to Starbucks.
Tell me, does this smell like chloroform to you? Anyway. So how far? So where are you? I mean, you got how much time left? How long have you been working on this now?
So we've been, we've been working on this thing just off and on throughout the whole year. And we're
building the set in December.
Yeah.
And then.
Well, when did you start writing?
I actually wrote this around Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So it's still pretty fresh and.
Couple of months, 3-4 months maybe.
Yeah.
Gonna piece it all together.
Yeah. I mean, well, we should be done. We have a goal to be done September at the latest for our principal photography, and then it moves into the editing, and hopefully, knock on wood, to have some type of a screening or a premiere for Christmas this year. So.
And then in terms of getting it into some of these film festivals, you got to submit. I'm guessing you submit these to the different film festivals.
Yeah, there's the film festival route, or there's some conversations we have open with some distributors that they're open, they're there, but we just have to finish the film, present it to them, and do our little pitch packet with them, and so there's a couple different routes we can do. The film festival route or just the distribution.
Well, this, I'm sure you've seen this Other Side of Heaven 2 that they're promoting now. Is that an independent film? Because that's very specific, and not everybody's going to go out and look at that.
Right.
That's an independent film, I would imagine.
Yeah,
right?
but I mean, there's some smaller studios up in Salt Lake that
put stuff out like that.
Definitely put stuff out like that. And I mean, Aerostorm's a big one up there, and Hailstorm, I think that's what, media up there. They have a smaller studio system type thing, but
so it's a little easier for them to get it.
Yeah, they have some funding that they put into their films.
Donate to these guys.
Yeah.
You guys up there.
Give us a little bit.
Quit holding back.
Help.
Oh, don't worry. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, thanks.
And then, so once you've got all the stuff filmed, then you got to sit down and piece it all together, right? And do all that sort of stuff. And that takes probably couple of months, 3
Well,
months?
yeah, I mean, right now I've actually been doing the editing, so putting a cut together, and that's kind of what I'm up to right now is just laying out a first cut, how I kind of envision it, and then
How much film time would you say you have?
oh,
I mean,
man.
how long do you want the movie to be?
Oh yeah,
versus
yeah. Well,
how long?
we're going for a feature, so just like hour
and a
20
half,
minutes.
2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, man, up to date, we probably have
Said like
5 hours of footage.
yeah, it's a lot.
I mean,
It's like Gone with the Wind.
yeah, it's going through and just telling the story. So you got to cut a lot of things out, and a lot of things you got to cut you don't want to cut, but if it doesn't move the story, then get it out.
Amen to that. Speaking of cut, literally right now,
Look at
that. Our music is starting, which means we have to shut up for about 2 minutes. Sponsors. We have to take care of the people that take care of us. So stick around. We're going to talk with Jason, Justin, and Austin, Jason, and Dan about their movie. And Jost, that guy, the old guy in the polo shirt. We'll be back with Startup Nation in 2 minutes, everybody.
Oh yeah, that's midnight special. That's midnight special.
I'm Rich Warren, inviting you to tune in to our midnight special, folk music and farce, show tunes and satire, madness and escape. 2 hours weekly ranging from ancient ballads to cutting-edge singer-songwriters, classic Broadway shows, and the latest British comedy, all on the Midnight Special.
The Midnight Special, Saturday evenings from 7 till 9 on Radio St. George 100.3.
Hi, this is Tyler from Hash House A Go-Go, and we've decided to sponsor the DSU radio program. At Hash House A Go-Go, we offer unique dishes, generous portions, and our light and twisted menu with smaller portions. Recently, Hash House A Go-Go was voted best in Southern Utah for breakfast and brunch, serving Indiana home-style food with a West Coast twist. Hash House A Go-Go by the Red Cliffs Mall, putting the fun back into food.
Hi, I'm Mark Parrish, owner of your local McDonald's. McDonald's offers $2,500 a year in tuition assistance for Dixie State University students. By working at McDonald's, you'll be paid and can be qualified for an additional $2,500 in tuition assistance. Apply at your local McDonald's. I'm Mark Parrish from your local McDonald's, and we're helping you go to college.
My son had a drinking problem at college. I'm glad a friend suggested Al-Anon family groups. Is someone's drinking troubling you? You might be surprised at what you can learn in an Al-Anon family group from people just like you. Call 1-888-4-AL-ANON or go to alanon.org.
It's time for you to get the Radio St. George app. It's available on iTunes or Google Play. You can stream audio and video, listen to podcasts, make a request, and so much more. Download the Radio St. George app today. We made it for you. The Radio St. George app on iTunes or Google Play.
Enjoy Evening Jazz, weeknights from 7 to 10 on Radio St. George 100.3 FM.
We welcome you back to Startup Nation. Here's your host, Ed Tracey.
We are back, boys and girls, talking to these three fine gentlemen about a film that they are putting together, the brainchild of Dan Fowlks, and Jason Muller and Austin Schadewald are working feverishly on it with him. And if you need a set done, Jason's your man, everybody. Apparently, if you just need a home built, but just tell him it's a set, from what I'm gathering.
Yeah, but I do have to throw out Sandy Catton, who's come on to this project to help with set design and just some art direction. Like the details she's put into our interior cabin set has been amazing.
She made it look.
Yeah, because you just can't throw stuff in there like a Carol Burnett scene. You know,
No,
I mean, you have to do period. You've got to make it look like you're looking back in time.
Exactly. And that was part of the whole reason of just, let's build one, because there's no 1940 German cabins in southern Utah. It's really weird.
No, but there's a guy that I go to church with. I'm pretty sure his house might have some of those things. So
talk to him.
Sorry, Brother Schwartz. Who do we know any of the people that are in this film?
Yeah, some of the cast is Barb Christensen.
Okay.
Amazing in this film, and everyone's just doing a fantastic job on all ends of things. But Jaden Webster,
Oh, I know Jaden.
Jaden Webster, Chanley Gledhill.
Is Jaden a German or an American?
He's an American.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Kobe Oram. He was just in Altar Boys.
I didn't see it.
Didn't see that one. Yeah, a lot of local theater actors, really, that we just got together. And as I was writing it, because I worked with Barb a couple shows, SGMT, and as I was writing this, I was trying to figure out, okay, who do I know that could?
There's a lot of local talent down here.
Yeah, who could be this? And she popped into my head, and
like
sure
Jade
enough.
and those guys, and Chelsea Sweeney. And,
oh man, they're just
Ash,
loaded.
Yeah, and they're looking for stuff. You know, a lot of these guys, people go to New York, try their luck, stay in a crash pad there with 10 of them sleeping on the floor for 6 months. They try their thing and then they come back.
Exactly.
You know, and so to have something like that here, like you guys are doing, with all the talent, they jump at the chance to do stuff like that. We have a lot of community theater in this town. In fact, I'm thinking of opening one in this room.
Right there.
Yeah, right there.
Got curtains in here.
We got SGMT, we got the Electric Theater, Stage Door Theater, Brigham's Playhouse, you got Hurricane Repertoire Theater, you got Kayenta, you got the Space Between. There's a ton of them.
Yeah.
And everybody's fighting, for the same talent. And so this kind of throws a little bit of a different thing into the mix to give them something else to do. Not that the theater's not great.
It just film's different, but film was spawned from theater. So I mean, there's so many similarities there, and it's just a different way, and it's just different medium to present your story, and that's one of the things I've noticed with being involved in some of the community theater around town, was getting to know everyone, and just like, man, you guys are amazing.
So I've never done theater, well, except from high school. I've never done like theater, and I was asked to be in Evita in last February. So I was General Perón, and I got to do the tango dance with Evita, who was Crystal. Crystal Jones.
Crystal, yep.
Crystal Jones, great, great performer, great actress, awesome. But she would put lotion on her hands. I'm like, don't put lotion on your hands, because there's a part where I have to drop her in the tango 2 inches from the ground. And one time she had lotion on her hands, and she hit the ground.
Way down.
And I was like, I'm out.
And the great thing about theater is you're on the spot, and you have to figure out, or just how to play with it. Just
like if I had right. You can't yell cut. If I had dropped her during the show, I'd have been like, ta-da! Something. But I didn't. So yeah, I mean, it's good stuff. There's a lot of talent here. So and it is. It's similar, but it's different.
Yeah.
Because you got to learn your lines, and you got to pose them just right.
Blocking, there's
blocking.
The
that's
rehearsals.
It. That's the word.
Yeah, it's just.
I tell you, we I really want to do like a bloopers reel, but
that would be awesome.
And all the time that we filmed, we've had like one. I mean,
so these guys are good.
Yeah. Dan may be like, well, let me have you do it this way, or let me try this way. Let's do it that way, or something like that. But I mean, seriously, we've had like one what you would call a blooper. It's crazy how good these guys are, and I mean, I've just been kind of new to
professional,
just kind of new to the area and in this kind of industry. I'm blown away by these guys.
And really, the only actor that's not from here is Stephen Haar, who plays a German corporal in the story, and his contribution, what he brought to that character, is just fantastic.
Awesome. Made it his own.
He's from up north.
Yeah.
So we got a little video clip here of the movie. Do you want to set us up here?
Okay, this is our first trailer that we released, just to give people an idea of where the story's going and how it's flowing, and without any further ado,
A Christmas Night, 1944.
Just the other day, I was crouched down behind this berm. Chaos and bullets coming from every which way. There at the end of my sights is a German. Crouched down as well. I wasn't shooting either. It's the moment every soldier is trained for. Take it. Take the shot.
Vickers.
Frau Vickers.
Wollen wir uns herausholen?
Awesome.
Good night.
Woo! I'm not going to sleep tonight. So I'm looking at this and I'm going, that's a lot of snow. That's a lot of snow. Where was, is that up in Cedar City or where was it?
That was in Cedar
Pine,
Canyon.
yeah,
Oh,
Pine
man.
Valley, Cedar.
I mean, it was,
That's
crazy.
That was part of the whole. That was a deciding factor to do this too. Was can we find a place that can be similar or pull off the
like
Black
Germany.
Forest or the Ardennes Forest where this story took place?
Right.
And looking at pictures and just comparing the two is like, okay, yeah, we can. When there's snow up there, we can pull this off.
Oh yeah.
So
we took the actors up there, and I told them, I said, look, you got to know that your director here, Dan, everything he's asking you to do, we've already done scouting. I mean, he walked all up the hills and down to his knees and thighs. I mean, it was
a lot of snow.
Deep snow.
Was there anybody else up there when you guys were up there? Like you weren't filming, all of a sudden you see some guy in
Not really. Yeah, we were able to pick
snowmobile.
I know, right?
Going through the back.
Yeah, we were able to pick some really good spots. So for sound, we were able to capture everything. And one spot was really serene because we were using Donna Gardner. She owns an Airbnb up in Pine Valley.
Oh, sweet.
And we talked to her about using some of her property, and she was fantastic and awesome to work with for letting us come in and use her property there. And
beautiful area, right?
Yeah, beautiful area.
And there's just nothing up in this canyon.
And it's so peaceful and quiet, so it's like perfect. That's awesome. That's what we need.
And how many days were you up there?
Too many.
Well, I mean, I think what we've really only had
I'm
like
getting
what
flashbacks just thinking about it.
We've only had like 3 or 4 snow shoot days.
Shooting, but also building the set. We had those 2.
True that.
And you had to bring it in.
Yeah.
They bring all that stuff in.
I mean, it wasn't easy, but we made it happen.
Yeah, about.
And you just left it there, right? People were like,
I gotta tell you,
where's the rest of this house?
Oh,
we really wanted to.
I know, right?
If we could have, we probably would have.
Oh man,
still be up
yeah.
there.
To put up our cabin set, we had to. I don't know how was a distance you would say of.
I'd say at least 100 yards.
Trek. We'd have to park up there and then trek it in on sleds.
Yeah.
So the scene with the lady that's talking in German to the other guy, is that the set? Or is that's a set?
That's the set.
So that looks like a real house. I mean, that looks like good
Thank
job.
Nice work, Jason.
Yeah, boy.
I built it with Sandy.
He built it so real. They sent him a gas bill. It was it was that good. He got a utility bill.
Exactly.
So
I'm not paying that.
what? No.
That was the crazy thing. When we were the night before we were planning to go to Pine Valley to set up the set, Jason ran into an old buddy
of
yours,
a
right?
neighbor of mine up in Down Valley. We were just at the movies, and I'm thinking, holy crap, I don't think we have enough people to do this. And Dan's like, I think we need more people. And we go to the movies, and my neighbor's there, and I said, hey, what are you doing tomorrow? I wasn't trying to.
Worse than asking them to help you
Right.
move.
I seriously
Hey, come
was
to
not.
the snow.
I was just trying to be friendly. I wasn't actually trying to hook him. I was like, hey,
Come on.
But I said, oh, okay. What are you doing? I said, well, we're building the set. He goes, well, do you need help? I said, we could use actually a lot of help. And he's got.
And that guy moved
And
since then, right?
He's a jack of all trades. He's got.
Yeah.
He owns, I think it's Drake Garage, right? And,
Gotcha.
And he's got a trailer full of tools, and he built this big sled for us to push.
Best friend
pull
ever.
Oh, man.
He brought us quad and stuff. So.
He was awesome. If it wasn't for him, we would have been there. Till
We'd still
3
be
in the
there.
morning.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We might have slept there.
Yeah. No,
They
but
never would have found you.
Yeah. Well, that was in the way we designed. The way the set was designed was to just be like a puzzle. So we built it in a way that we could just easily, just piece it together, screw it in, and then be on our way. But
screwed it all together, and
yeah,
it worked out pretty darn good.
And whose garage is this stuff in now?
right, it's a storage unit.
Jason's yard.
Right.
Kids, I made you a playhouse.
Yeah.
Go play.
Go play.
So let's talk logistics and stuff. So obviously, this costs money to put all this stuff together, right?
Mm-hmm.
and I know you've done stuff before, which you've actually, done crowdfunding for and that. How are you funding this? Are you paying out of your pocket for this stuff? A lot of shoestring, bootstrapping going on?
Yeah, it's definitely, I've fronted a lot of it to just push it through and get and at least provide resources.
So your wife really loves you.
Yeah, she loves me.
She's really understanding.
Wow.
We actually filmed
a
commercial.
Yeah.
We filmed a commercial in his front room. His wife's like, let me fix this and help. I mean, she's awesome. To kind of let us move furniture around, kind of make this little set in the front room. I thought, wow, she's a really
Well,
cool
I mean, look at him. He's superior genetic material. If you and I did this, we'd be on the sofa in somebody else's house, Jason. She's like, anything for you, honey? I'd be like, get your out of here. We're done. Yeah, exactly. Get out of here, fatty.
I have a fantastic wife, and she's massively supportive of all this. It's
Does she do this stuff too? Does she do any of the acting?
She doesn't do any of the films. She doesn't have an interest in the whole filmmaking thing, but she's just, I don't know, just...
God love her. Does she have a sister? Is her mom single? Sorry,
she's married.
Mrs. Fowlks. Awesome. So a lot of this came out of your pocket, but you said you do crowdfunding, right?
Yeah, so we have crowdfunding available, and
that's on the website?
It's on the website, yeah.
You do Facebook for this also?
Okay. Yep, Facebook, Instagram, whole kit and caboodle.
Crowdfunding is kind of tough. I mean, it can be beneficial, but it's not, people, especially when it first started, people thought, I just put a little tiny video or a picture, send it to all my friends, I'll have $1 million. You got to work that thing. The first few days and the last few days especially, you got to be on that, checking it and reminding people. It's like good social media.
Yeah.
You can't just post like Street Fest. I can't just post one thing and expect 17,000 people to show up. I got to post something new every day.
Right.
It's competitive.
And people, they say how much money they've raised with crowdfunding, but there's a lot of people that are trying to get the same attention, and you have to be on top of your game. And if you are, it's more than just the people here. It's their friends. It's people in Germany. It's people.
Social network. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And that's why I chose GoFundMe, because it didn't have the time limits or the time restrictions that usually.
And you don't have to get the full thing. You don't have to.
Yeah.
If you're after 80,000, you could get 40 and still get your money.
They take a cut. They take obviously their processing fee, but it's GoFundMe. I've had good experiences with GoFundMe, and it hasn't been bad at all. So yeah.
We're doing a GoFundMe for Jason's new polo shirt.
Yeah.
Everybody.
It's what about 10,000?
Yeah,
that's the going.
And you get the polo shirt. Here you go.
I'll ship it to
you. That's awesome. What else? What else have you seen? What are some of your struggles doing this stuff? Obviously, you got it in your head. You get up every morning. You got your plan to make it happen. You come home at night. You put all your pieces together. You edit, but you got to have days where you go, screw this. I'm going to be a dentist. I'm going to drive a garbage truck.
Yeah, it's a lot of sacrifice. I mean,
your wife's yelled at you at least once. Just say it.
Yeah, but I'm a man, so sometimes I don't listen the best.
Sometimes. Come on now.
I hear you, but I don't hear you.
What?
No, but it's a lot of sacrifice that goes into, especially this industry. I mean, I've been
competitive.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. But I mean, I don't know. There's for me. I've been at it for professionally probably seven years now. Just
and
really
you're still
going
learning,
strong at it.
Right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I knew there's not I don't believe in the one and done type knowledge and you're good to go. Yeah, everyone's continually learning. So that's the thing with this film is it really had to start out with, I want to see this film done. So I had to start with that.
Well, it's your brainchild.
Yeah, that's the why for me. I wanted to see this done. And then just getting it to other people and having them being able to donate their time and be involved with it, then they have a piece of them that they want to see in the film and have it done. So really it's just started with that grassroots of us just coming together, wanting to complete something and just see it done. And for me as the producer, director, pushing this.
So you're the director. You're the director doing it.
Yes, correct. Just pushing this through. I had to come to grips with myself, obviously, that there was a lot that I've had to put in because, I'm the only one that sees it right now, so I have to go after it. And then just have the GoFundMe is, it's there. We would love the contribution of the community to help us out, but you have to make that deciding factor of just, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to do it. So,
do you start with a budget when you're working on something like this?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so we have our...
And how far over are you right now?
No, we're still on budget. I mean, the fact of the matter is, at this point, we've put some hard costs into it, which is, the materials to build the set and, craft services, catering, that sort of thing.
Keep people happy on set.
Right.
They like to eat. People like to eat.
Yeah.
You're there for 12 hours.
At least.
Yeah.
And so it's a long day, but so far a lot of people have donated their time and their services. I mean, from makeup to hair, and it's just an amazing group of people. But ultimately, we don't want to have them just donate time. We want them to make money on it too, get a bit of a paycheck.
Sure, and I think
hopefully
a lot of
more than a little bit, but
Well, I think a lot of these actors and whatnot understand, the delayed gratification that comes with doing independent films. They know that if this goes well, it could turn into something big for them, like you guys. You're putting money into it, and you're hoping that you make more money out of it. But
like any other business.
Exactly, exactly right.
Exactly how you do it. So,
I mean, I Street Fest for me is a volunteer thing, but I do it because I love it, and it also gets me the opportunity to get paying gigs, obviously. But I do it because I love community, and I have this thing about legacy where I want my grandkids to go, see that guy with the potty mouth? That's my grandpa. And look at, he's funny, isn't he funny? Yeah. He's dead now.
He just taught me this word.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that was my grandpa. I grew up in New York City. I know words you've never heard. At least never heard said the way I say them.
New York Underground.
Yeah, buddy. So now, Jason, you obviously this was kind of Dan's thing, but you've caught on to that dream. Why?
It's just, I got into the business because there are amazing stories out there, and I want to be a part of telling them. Just inspirational stories or whatever it is, but just really neat stories, and this was one of them. It's just a story of two groups of soldiers that should hate each other and try to, kill each other on sight, but because of one lady in her cabin saying, "Not tonight, there's no bloodshed in here, we're not going to have it, we're going to get along," and takes their guns and rifles and puts them outside and kind of forces these two groups to get together. And it's just a neat story. I think that's what we, need to hear today.
And the best part is it's true. It's a true story.
Yeah.
There are good stories like that out there.
Even
in war. Yeah. Even in war.
Absolutely.
Humanity shines through,
Exactly.
Absolutely. So you said you went to school for film?
I went to the New York Film Academy in Burbank.
And what were you doing there? Film production?
Producing.
Film producing.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. So you're serious about this.
I changed careers, and once I knew this is the direction I needed to go, it was pretty much full steam ahead.
And how long you been married?
I'll be 25 years in December.
And she loves you. She's very supportive.
She's awesome. She raised the triplets and 5 kids, so yeah, she's pretty amazing. She's more than supportive and
good.
And yeah, she's pretty awesome.
What's her name?
Mindy.
Mindy.
Yeah.
God bless you.
She's awesome.
25 years.
Getting there.
Must be doing something right, buddy.
Yep.
I'd be married 25 years if you put them all together. So, Austin, 4 years, right? But you've been doing film now for a while, right? You've been doing film production?
Yeah, on and off. I went to school at UVU for cinematography. I've always had a passion for film.
Gotcha.
Did the wedding video thing, obviously, but, really I love doing narrative films, especially when it's a story like this that, Dan had come across, and obviously the script is really well written. It's like, I think it's a story everyone can connect to, and it's stories like that makes me, want to tell more.
Right.
So, I just think it's all coming together really nicely so far, and, we talked about the talent that we've had, and we've been watching scenes and we've had crew members break out in tears because it's just like there are really powerful moments in there.
You don't need to tell them about me. I mean, seriously, man, this is.
I didn't say any names.
No, you didn't say any names. You gave yourself away.
What the heck? What is the deal? And your wife's supportive.
Oh, very supportive. Yeah, I wouldn't be here if she weren't.
That's key. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I'd be talking to nobody. Yeah. So, and I get that. What are some things, if you could do them differently with this, you would do differently? I mean, what are some of the challenges that you're running into?
Oh man,
it's not a cakewalk every day.
I don't know, and I don't know if I have an answer of what I would do differently, but what I've learned. I've learned. I mean, the way we've put this together, and in other films that I've been a part of, other independent films, working with other directors. So, like I've seen how other directors have worked and how productions have come together. I've seen a variety of different ways. And the way we've done this has just been a very unconventional way of putting the film together. Just
unconventional how?
I feel usually films I've been a part of, or you have your shoot days and usually go back to back just to can it up and work through it and get it done. And where with this one, it's taken on a learning curve with me because one, we've had to work around nature, like I mentioned before.
Big factor.
And we were actually...
That threw a big wrench in.
We were actually... Yeah, our schedule was to get the majority of our snow stuff done in like 2 days. We were going to be at location, shoot all this, get it done, and then move on.
But
it didn't work that way. So, plans fall through, and it's given me a time too, as the writer director, to look at the story, see what we've shot, go over those dailies of footage that we had, and then kind of go back to the drawing board a little bit about our next shoot day, and figure out some connecting pieces that can help, what we've shot, what our future, what we can plan on the future to shoot, where all of it can tie in together. And I mean, even some additional, the rewrites thing, like there's scenes that I rewrote. I wrote some more dialogue scenes.
In the middle of production?
In the middle of production with this, because there was just some moments with our actors that I was like, okay, man, there's something more there because of just the way that actor looked at this other actor.
Right.
So
I gotta tell you, thank goodness, because we had one scene that we finished our 2-day shoot on, and it was an absolutely beautiful scene that at the time I'm thinking, oh, I don't even remember reading this, Yeah. But these guys pulled it off, and I mean, you talk about, Austin was talking about the crying part. I mean, it was just a beautiful scene, and it was
delivered it really well.
Patterson was just
Trey Patterson.
Trey Patterson, the man.
He
was amazing. In fact, the funny thing is that if we had filmed on schedule, we would have had another actor playing his role. But because of the way it turned out, the other actor wasn't available. Dan brought Trey in, and it was just
things happen.
Trey's a big man.
Things happen.
He is, but it was an amazing scene.
He's great.
I was blown away.
Yeah.
But that was a rewrite.
And he does theater.
And he does a lot of theater. That was one of the key factors. And he does film as well. Like he's shot some of his own short films. And
pretty talented guy.
He's
pretty talented.
Awesome. Super talented, great magician, by the way.
Yes, he is. He is.
He's
fantastic.
Out there on Street Fest.
He does.
Yeah.
Oh man, our time is up. Give me the website again real quick.
CypressRockProductions.com.
CypressRockProductions.com. Dan, Jason, Austin, you guys are awesome. Check them out. Go to their GoFundMe page. Help them out. Be looking for them on the big screen, everybody. Thanks for coming out to Startup Nation. We'll see you next week.
Woo! That's it.
Thanks for listening to Startup Nation with Ed Tracey. For video and or audio of the show, go to YouTube or Facebook, Podbean or Spotify, and search Radio St. George. Or go to radiostgeorge.com. We invite you back next Tuesday at 3 o'clock for another edition of Startup Nation.